Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is about relationships. More importantly, how some relationships tend to crash and burn. Now, sadly, that's what happened to one of mine, and that's what today's story is about. I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like if you do. Let's jump into this. So this story time takes place when I was 18, okay? And I was dating this girl, and it was a really interesting relationship because I'd never been in one like this. So we both lived on our own. I got my own apartment the minute I turned 18, and so did she. And she lived with her friend. I lived alone. And we kind of just both visit each other whenever we wanted, and we both made it very clear that we were okay with that. So sometimes she would just randomly show up at my place, and honestly I was fine with that. I kind of liked the surprise of it, and she told me I could do the same whenever I wanted. Now obviously I was a little bit different. I've always kind of liked to ask people before coming over, just out of, in case they're busy or something. But I was never busy at this time other than making videos, so I was always home and willing to have people come over. So anyway, you're probably wondering, Austin, why does this matter? Well, you'll see in a few moments, okay? So one day, I decide I'm going to go and pick up takeout from this really nice-ass restaurant and go surprise her for a dinner date because it was our 3-month anniversary. And we didn't really have any plans. Now, I already know some of the comments on this video are going to be like, Luna, man, you're a simp. Guys, I can't believe it. Luna's a simp. Well, whatever, okay? At the time, I was just trying to do something nice, and it kind of backfired on me, okay? Because I get the nice-ass restaurant food, I go to her apartment, and I knock on the door, and her roommate answers. And she goes, hey, she's not home. I'm like, oh, really? Where is she? She's like, I don't know. She just ran out to get some food or something. She'll be back. I'm like, all right, well, can you just text me when she gets back and I'll come back? And she's like, yeah, for sure. So I leave, and 15 minutes later, I get a text from her roommate being like, hey, she's home. You might not like what you're about to see, though. And I reply, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, she just came home with another guy. And I thought she was kidding because her roommate was a friend of mine, and we would always joke around with each other, so I honestly thought she was kidding. I really did not think she was being serious. So I texted back and I said, LMAO, on my way, because I really thought she was kidding. And she replies and goes, okay, ... And I get to the apartment, I knock on the door, her roommate answers, and she goes, I really didn't think you'd be coming over, she's in her room with another guy, I can't believe this. And I was like, wait, you're being serious? She's like, yeah, I'm dead serious. I'm like, who is it? And she's like, I have no idea. I've never seen this guy before. And I could see it in her face. She looked mad. And like I was saying, me and her were friends. So I could tell that she was pissed at her own roommate for cheating. And I'm like, okay, you're being serious. All right, well, I'm going to go over there and talk to her. And she's like, okay, that's fine. And I walk in and I go up to the door where her room is. I knock on the door and she goes, one sec. And I hear her talking to someone. And she gets up, walks over to the door and opens it in her robe. And she sees me in her face, complete shock. And so was mine. I was completely shocked by this. And I see this dude standing in the background staring at me, confused as hell. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, I'm so sorry. And she starts crying, bawling her eyes out. And this guy is dead silent in the background, just staring at me all confused. And he goes, wait, what's going on? And I was like, well, man, I think I'm getting cheated on. And he goes, how long have you guys been seeing each other? I'm like, well, today was 3 months. And he goes, what the fuck? He's like, I've been seeing her for 2. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I guess we both found out something pretty shitty today. He's like, is this true? And he looks at her and she's like, I'm so sorry to both of you. And she starts crying even harder. And I was so shocked and mad that I did something a little bit immature, okay? I had a whole takeout box of nice ass pasta from this restaurant, spaghetti. And I went over to the bed where they were doing who knows what. I'm sure we could all guess. And I dumped spaghetti all over the bed sheets. Now listen, that is very immature to do. I would never recommend doing that to somebody, but at the same time, she was cheating on me for months, and I didn't know how else to get my anger across, so I dumped spaghetti on her bed. And I think the funniest part about the whole thing is the guy that she was cheating on me with was also so angry that he got cheated on that he walked over to the bed where I dumped the spaghetti, grabbed a handful of it, and then threw it at the pillow. Just threw it full speed like a fucking baseball at the pillow, and it splattered everywhere. And he goes, fuck this, I'm out. And he walks up to me with his shirt off. He goes, what's your name, bro? I'm like, Austin. And he's like, well, Austin, thank you so much for exposing this girl's lies. I will never talk to her again. And he walks out. And I'm like, all right, I'm out too. Have a good one. And I walked out with him. And believe it or not, me and him became friends after this because we both got played, so we both could relate. And we became friends, which was kind of cool. And yeah, so apparently the whole time, she would bring me around her apartment, and we'd hang out there a lot. And then behind my back for 2 months, him and her would go out to restaurants and stuff and go to his house. because she didn't want to take him home to her apartment because she knew that her roommate would tell me if she brought him there. And that's what ended up happening anyway, so yeah. So moral of the story is, don't cheat, stay loyal, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story time in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys all later. Peace.
I can't play the sidelines, really sing these flaws of mine. Tea leaves help my thoughts align. I need to let go. Open doors like suicide, keeping me from living life. Tea leaves help my thoughts align.